Yes, the opening ceremony was weird. But what do you expect from the French? Right? But they saved the day with Celine Dion's magnificent performance at the end from the Eiffel Tower of Edith Piaf's classic Hymne à l'amour. I get chills down my spine every time I re-watch it on YouTube. It's magnificent. Yes, the closing ceremony kind of followed in the same French style until Tom Cruise rappelled from the ceiling, from the roof down there, and took off with the Olympic flag on his motorcycle, Mission Impossible style. That was really cool. But in between, the athletes really took center stage. And thankfully, we didn't have any terrorist attacks or other demonstrations during the Games. But did you watch Mondo Duplantis with his pole vault, planting it, soaring up over that thing up there, 21 feet up in the air for a world record? Sydney McLaughlin, 400-meter hurdles for the women. They are higher than this table, and she outclassed the competition. Kyle Hooker, the underdog in the 1,500 meters. There was a British and a Norwegian guy who were going to fight it out. And at the very end, on the inside, there came Kyle and ran past them to claim the gold. It was all fantastic performances. And it was a great game from that perspective. Have you heard the name Kristen Faulkner? She won the road cycle race. She's from Homer, Alaska. She's 31. She took up cycling at age 21. And not only did she win the road racing gold, she won the velodrome with her American teammates as well. What a story, right? And the Swedish beach volleyball team. You've heard about the Swedish beach volleyball team? Well, they rewrote the rules for beach volleyball. It has always been throw up the ball, hit it over, one save, one layup, another smash over the net. Well, no, they rewrote the tactics and the strategy, and the competition was totally confused, and they managed, despite being short, these guys are short, they're only 6'3". They claimed the gold. So the Olympics as such, if you tuned out because of the opening ceremony, if that put you off, or because two XY people competed in the women's boxing, well, I'm afraid the loss is yours. But there is a darker side to the Olympics. And that is the fact that every Olympic game constitutes a massive individual rights violation. What do I mean by that? Are people put into prison? Are they being tortured or what? No, nothing like that. But every Olympic game, every bid, every hosting runs at a massive deficit, costs a huge amount of money. And who is on the hook for that, for the losses? Taxpayers in the respective cities and countries. And there is also property rights violations, eminent domain, the government taking buildings and land from businesses and private individuals because we need to make room for the venues, for the lodging, for new infrastructure. Countless people have had their lives ruined because of that around the world. The Sochi Winter Olympics in Russia, they cost, according to what the best estimates are, about $50 billion. That's Vladimir Putin for you. 50 billion, that's the most expensive so far. Paris, a mere 9 billion. And yeah, they're always talking about the benefits, all the TV rights that we're selling, and the publicity for the whole city, and all the new jobs that it creates. Ain't happening. There are study after study that shows that taxpayers are on the hook for covering the losses. Montreal hosted the Olympics in 1976. They paid off the final debt in 2006. Athens Olympics in 2004 cost 15 billion, only 5 billion more than anticipated. And that was a major contributing reason to the Greek financial crisis a couple of years later, because they were so much in debt because of the Olympics. So what is the solution? How do we get out of this? How do we stop violating people's rights? Well, my suggestion is that the IOC find a permanent home for both the Summer and the Winter Olympics. Summer Olympics where? Well, Athens, of course. But this time, IOC foots the bill, and yeah, they can generate income from a lot of different sources as well. But you have the venues set up, you reuse them every 4 years instead of letting them deteriorate. If you look at what Athens have today from back in 2004, most of it is in ruins. You can't differentiate between a stadium and the Acropolis, basically. Where would we host the Winter Games? Well, the hometown of the IOC is Lausanne, Switzerland. You know Switzerland? Mountains, winters, snow, perfect location for the Winter Games. Same thing there, IOC can buy up land, build venues from willing property owners who want to sell their properties, no force involved, and make a profit every time. If we have all these professional sports that make billions of dollars, why wouldn't we be able to make the Olympics profitable? So that's my solution to the problem. Now, will this happen anytime soon? IOC is a fairly corrupt body, and they like the fact of playing out these different cities against each other in the bidding process and so on and so forth. But while we're waiting for that day, we should follow what the citizens of Denver did back in 1976. Some of you might remember it. Mm-hmm. Denver was awarded the Olympics, the Winter Olympics in 76. What happened? The voters of Denver said no to it. It created quite a scramble. IOC had to find another city, and eventually they found Innsbruck in Austria. But the voters of Denver said, no, we don't want to pay for this. Good for them. And Denver has kind of been playing with this idea a few times since then. So if it comes up again and you get a chance to vote, keep voting no. That's my advice to you. Good morning.